I like Uptown Linkup. Yes, sir. Hello?
Hello.
Is this Uptown Linkup?
Yes, it is.
Oh, best program ever.
Come back and be this passionate about this.
How do we, as Jamaicans, then know our history?
5 goat in killer weekend time. And them eat 3 goat meat.
And remember the elderly that make this possible that everyone, because without the senior.
Who start to dig the post hole when light decides to come in. You never have no sidewalk and you have the bank inside.
Your kind love and eternal Father, once again, as we have gathered here together to discuss the matter concerning our wonderful, beautiful community and communities in the Kingston 7 era, we want to thank you, Lord, for our spirit life, Lord. Thank you for all the many blessings which you have granted unto us, Lord, that we can be so successful that we can gather here tonight to discuss the upliftment of our community. And whatever we may do tonight, Lord, we ask of thee, let it be done to thy honor and glory. Amen.
Amen. Amen. This is the Uptown Link-Up Show. Tonight, we're having Mr. Kenneth Wilson, a member of the Augustown, the Greater Augustown community, and we are happy to have him 100%. Also, our panel is Mr. Rowan Sims tonight, and I'm Mr. Sean Grant, and we're having another special guest on panel tonight, Mr. Dean Roden. We're speaking to Mr. Kenneth Wilson directly to kind of, bring to light, most of the stuff that he's doing, and how it benefits our community. So, Mr. Wilson, it's nice to have you tonight. It's really a wonderful thing. I've been gunning for this meeting for a little while, and you grant us a privilege, to have you. To the wider Jamaica, because not only Jamaica though, the diaspora, is looking on and viewing. Some persons heard about the name Mr. Wilson, some heard Snake, some know that you're a community advocate, but since you're listening now, the ignorant that doesn't know who you are, could you just give us a synopsis of, who the great Mr. Wilson is? Thank you.
Well, first of all, how much time I have, sir?
An amount of time.
You can. Yeah.
All right, I have to declare that first. All right, so good night, everyone. Good night to the host, Mr. Who hosting this program? You, Sir Contra, or is it Rowan?
It's Mr. Rowan Sims and Mr. Contra is hosting tonight.
Well, I want to say good night, Sir Dean. I want to say
Good night, sir.
Big up for using this bullet pulpit to forcefully bring to our diaspora what is happening here in Augustown. Much what is kind of ever so often I keep playing it because I kind of stuff up. I just coming from Goldsmith Villa, had a lovely meeting over there since night. So my name is Kenneth Wilson, and I am a servant of a servant of humanity. I serve the Greater Augustown community as a community development facilitator. Very, very passionate about living here, working here, staying here. I've given up a lot to remain here, let us sacrifice. But from where I sit, it's worth it. Because I'm of the firm belief that one man can make a difference, because everything begins with one. And it mushroom and grow from one. And so far, what I'm seeing happening across the Greater Augustown community right now. Each of the 5 communities, Augustown proper, Bedwood Gardens, Hermitage, Goldsmithville, African Gardens, I see leadership emerging constantly. And as a result of that, it only telling us that we have a very great future. More and more people coming stepping forward, not as we would like, not in the amount that we would like, but the fact of the matter is that wherever one and two is gathering and coming forward, then you have to give thanks, because at least we're moving upward, the mobility. I will like to speak about what we're going forward with in relation to the wider Greater Augustown community. Over the past 4 months.
Before you get into
Sorry.
that, could I just
Yes.
assist the viewers to know a little bit more than you are divulging about yourself? You just skip over a couple. You live in Augustown for from how long? Did you born in neck of the woods?
Well, I leave Augustown when I was about 10, and I came back. We returned. Well, I have family here, lot of cousins and auntie and uncles. So I've always been visiting Augustown while I was living elsewhere. And we returned. My parents and I returned to the community in 1977. We used to go to Miss Clark when I was here. We used to go to Miss Clark Basic School. Right, so that is a long time. I don't know if anybody remember Monert and Bryce Hill. That's where I used to live in Monert, and Bryce Hill. Yeah.
So there was more than one Miss Clark, I think. You're talking about Antana, that lady who at the school where Sizzler is right now.
Yeah, that's the only Miss Clark Basic School.
Okay, in Augustown.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should go there.
Yeah.
And so returning in 1977 to the community. My parents moved back here. My mother moved back here, so we had to, because we're under her control then. And the mission started shortly after. Recognize that there's a magical mystic about Augustown.
What about children? What about children, Mr. Wilson? What about children? Do you have any?
One son.
Any? Yeah, only have one son. Okay.
So, Mr. Wilson.
Busy couldn't do anything else.
So, good night, Mr. Wilson.
Good night, Jason.
Me growing up in the community, I migrate at an early age, and I've been living in the US for over 30-something years. And ever since I'm a young gentleman in the community, watching you doing all these community work from the football field to a lot of people don't even know that you're involved also in netball and many other more sports activity. What keep giving you that drive to continue to doing what you're doing?
I think if I ask the man upstairs, because it's not me. It's all about the man upstairs, The truth is that a lot of people, I must confess that a lot of people tells me that what I'm doing have nothing to do with me. I'm just a vessel. I'm being used by a greater being. Because of that same question, people can understand how I just keep going, just never give up, never walk away. Although at times get frustrated with the fact that you do so much and yet still there are so much people just still not seeing the vision. And I think for me that is the most irritating part of my work. Um, the inability of our citizenry to see this wonderful vision and this picture of Augustine, because we live in a fantastic, in a great community. I was just speaking to a couple of folks recently. I was by Bedded Gardens last week, Wednesday night. We were by Bedded Gardens, a meeting, a community meeting, and I was saying to the folks there if they know how important Augustine is, and even the oxygen that we breathe. We breathe one of the cleanest oxygen anywhere in Kingston because of the fact that the vegetation, we have the river, and we have the reservoir in close in close proximity, and and we tend to take these things for granted, and it's part of the human our human thing is that we tend to take our place for granted. When a lot of people come, and I can tell you that a lot of people have come to our town and have just marveled of why, how in God's name these people could be fighting with all of this beauty and this fantastic community, the mountains, and people just marvel.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, people marvel. Why are these people fighting? I never forget. Before Prof. Evans died, Augustine, Prof. Evans got the university to have Augustine included in its orientation that year. And so at different locations, right, buses of students would come into Augustine. And I never forget a female student. She we disembarked at the Augustine police station,
Mm-hmm.
and I give them just a brief history about the police station, or what was there before Miss Chin shop and all of that, and how we used to take up Miss Chin sweet and all them things there. So when we done talk, I never forget a slim female student with the expression on her face. She said, "Me never know such a Augustine pretty. Me think Augustine and place up a zing fence, dirty water on every road. But when me see the quality of house, them, and I wanna fight for." And and that stayed with me, and so many others. Or one of our recent inspector, he used to be, before he was transferred to Augustine, he used to be inspector at Mona Police Post, and he said that while he was there, one day his daughter came and looked for him, and she had one little aristocratic puppy, and while they were there, the puppy got away and run outside and run towards the turnstile gate that lead into Hermitage. And the inspector said everybody run after this puppy, and they finally caught up to him when he almost reached the gate. So he said to her that this is what he was telling the community when he come to Augustine. He said to her that I told her that you see if that puppy did ever go through that gate there, him there on him own, because me not going over there. And so, all and behold, he received orders to be transferred as the ground commander for Augustine. And the man seemed to have diarrhea about a week straight. Three real thing, real thing. His name is Inspector Farquharson. And he said that when it come to Augustine, and when him look the quality of the houses, and when him learn about the social stock in terms of people, the quality of the people living here, the nurses, the doctors, the teachers, the engineers, and he begin to learn more about the community. He said, "No, sir." The man said that right now he would buy a house in Augustown.
Wow.
Man
It's
grew up to
nice.
love the community, right?
In the past,
So
in the past, you have seen the communities, all the communities come together at some point. I remember when I was little, I was born in Augustown, and so they used to have the
yeah,
corner league with color red
yes,
always win
yes.
up. The corner league.
Color,
Well,
color in a
color red are
couple,
my
couple.
team. Yeah, start
Yeah,
see, we win up all of the corner league and stuff like that. We saw took place in the past that kind of bring the communities together. Can you make mention
yeah.
of any other that you know about and would love to say, you know, take center place,
Well,
take
yeah, man,
center stage?
Augustown is blessed with a very rich history. We have the Barishavans initiative, the Brainchild, the Cultural Month. Remember those? I remember those days in the Hermitage Park, and a lot of the big cultural concerts, a lot of singers and all of that. Then now August is like a piece of it. We have Cultural Month and then we have road race. Mr. Augustine, I remember the first Mr. Augustine at the poolside. It was unbelievable that a community could have organized an event with such class, and such finesse. It was fantastic. So there have been a lot of activities. The Thursday night at the Upland with Silver Arc and the concrete and the netball court there.
Yes.
Right. The
Yes.
only thing is that every Thursday there's always some fight. Some girl fight over a man or something. So we start calling it Thursday night. We start calling it Thursday night at the fight. Let's hear what there's gonna be a fight at the by the night to end, So and then and then in 2015 when I had the Mr. Augustine birthday, I can safely say that to my brainchild, and it was a fantastic period of time in Augustown, and teaching people about the rich heritage, the culture of Augustown, what Augustown was to the world back then, and how that can become the same again. So I think that part of the opportunity that we have right now is that the technology, this technology, what we can use now to begin to tell the Augustine story internationally and to have people sharing. Because I think part of the problem we are facing in Augustine is that not just Augustine, but Jamaica and other skills that we did not continue and in sharing the passing on the legacies of the past, the great things of the past. We allow ourselves to be subsumed into other into other cultures, which nothing is more greater than your culture. And I think where we have gone wrong is how easily we have allowed our culture to be stripped away from us, and then you are invaded with foreign cultures, right? It is not yours. So therefore, you weren't schooled and grown in that culture. So therefore, you cannot own it, and it doesn't own you either, right? So it's a very so we have to begin to regenerate ourselves, right? And I think that we have an opportunity now, and this program, which is fantastic because it allows people from wherever to actually tune in to what is happening here presently. So it's something that I commended, and nothing ever happened before the time,
Thank you.
because yeah I
So, if I
I
may,
I
when I get a chance, Sharon.
yeah
Mr. Rodden.
Yes, I've been watching and observing and listening, Mr. Wilson, and I know you guys are doing a fantastic job, but I would feel very guilty to let the program end it without, I know, man, I like to say big up himself, but seeing I was there before both of you guys were born, I think he's not just a Mr. Wilson. For me, who have been representing the country over the past 30 years, I think it's the Honorable Mr. Kennett Wilson. He might not want to say some of the things that they have done, but I've been living in Hermitage from 64. And I remember times when, even though as a scouter, I was even scared to go out of my gate because of some of the crime and the gunshot fire. And in all of these things, Mr. Wilson would go to all these 5 communities. And I think this was a very historical moment. Nobody wanted to put the bell around the cat. And people might see the luxury of Augustown now, but when things was like, David Dog would want to live in Augustown, Mr. Wilson is 5 community on foot. I mean, he gets some of the most, people tear him apart, and he would go there on foot. And I never forget when I witnessed over the campus, all 5 communities signing a peace treaty, a 5-year peace treaty, which was led by Mr. Wilson. And I must commend you. I congratulate you. As I said, it's just not a Mr. Kennett. People might see today, but as what you said, the legacy that our foreparents, Mr. Shevan, have done. A lot of 90% of Augustown people, they are not aware, and you are very humble within yourself. And I was here just listening to you, but I said, I have to bring this forward to let the public know what tremendous work you have been doing, and you have never stopped. I don't know what else I don't do to you. And I say I commend you, and I whatever support I can give you, we are here to support you. And I just like to put in my little bit. So please, sir.
Yeah, man. Thank you, Sir Dean. You are also one of the. You're a carbon copy of me, sir. So. Yeah, one of them, man. You can't escape it. You're one of them too. So that's very good. Service to humanity.
Yes, sir.
Service to humanity. So thanks for those kind words. I also return the same compliment to you.
It is really an amazing thing to have you both. And I didn't plan to have you both. I plan to have Mr. Wilson, because it is such a powerhouse to have you both on the program at the same time, But there has been there has to be happy times, real happy times for Mr. Kenneth Wilson in Augustown. What are some of those happy times?
For me, what I've come to learn about myself is that I am tied to the community. Whenever the community is suffering, war, shooting, I am at my worst. Many people don't know, but many times, boy, I just even in these quiet moments, shed many tears for the loss of lives and the suffering that I see people go through. And I think those are some of the things that motivated me to always want to say, well, we have to make a change. We have to. So the happy moments is when Augustown is at peace and tranquility and everybody going about the business without fear or favor. Those are always happy moments for me. But the sad part is when you have the violence, and so many. Even though I reflect on so many of the people who have lost good friends, wonderful friends, who have life have just snapped out of that just like that.
The thing about it, I'm asking you. Yeah, I'm asking you because people will look at times that we speak about here, and they will go back in time to remember and measure that time in their life, and it will make that connection with them. If we can, just highlight of what we call the happy time, because everybody have their own happy time, have their own time that they feel comfortable in Augustown or Hermitage, right? So I'm asking you the questions because I want to bring other persons, the viewers, into what we're speaking about. Is there, I know there is a lot, you know what I mean? But can you tell us of a time when you think if the community is like that forever, it would be amazingly a good community?
Yeah, I remember the days when we didn't know violence. We didn't know gang war. We didn't know form of violence. We walk from community to community any hour of the night, any hour of the day. We go hermitage, we go all kind of party, cultural day, this that. The August on the road race, you go over a river. You know, it was it was those days were just fantastic. And I say that we actually we never know violence. Gang war, the man say boy, I'm go him not gonna say cause him afraid, I'm not gonna say cause him afraid. Like that. I remember when we used to go to college come on at those street dance, and when it's over, everybody just walk come and chat from college come on all the way into Augustown. You know, someone branch out in a hermitage, someone going to Cola, someone going down to someone going around, so all the way, you know, big crowd of people that walk. You get me? So those are some of the moments, man, where you cherish forever. You know, those moments are moments that you cherish forever and you yearn to see. You know that time passes, so time will carry these things away. They never come back, but you still yearn, boy, if you could have just some of these moments. And in recent times, when I had the when Hermitage had their first reunion, I like those things. I cherish those moments. When I was in it, then I was we had we we model of Hermitage and Mike right for the company the idea of I was on homecoming, you know, and we run with it because it's good. And then in 2015 at the first we celebrated Augustine birthday for the first time. We had Augustine 177. I tell him the amount of work I have done in that year. But the good thing about it, I enjoyed it because it is what I am. I want to see the happiness and the peace and the tranquility and the people moving freely, having fun. You know, now if you have worry about this, worry about violence here and there, and you know, so these are some of the things that motivate me. First of all, you know, we have to make a difference, and that will continue. That will
So
continue.
I know you said you know, in 2016 we have a zero murder rate,
Yeah.
and you know the first Hermitage reunion and the first Augusttown homecoming. Do you have anything planning, or you have anything in that sort that we can look forward to in the coming years from now? Like, for instance, you think that we can go back to those days is possible, or we have a lot more work to do in the community before we can move forward to those happy moments again?
The truth is that I will tell you, I will always tell you, I will always be honest with the community. I will always tell you as it is. And the truth is that we have a lot more work to do. A lot more, a whole lot of work to do. Um, there are a number of things that we're doing now that we're rolling out in January 2021, and I can speak of some of them. One is that on January 1st, we will kickstart what you call the Augusttown, the Greater Augusttown Safe Community Competition. It's a competition that was developed years ago by the late Professor Barry Shavans and the PMI and the Violence Prevention Alliance, in association with a number of community leaders, including leaders from Augustown, Hermitage, and stuff like that. And in 2010, the competition was there. It have never been used. In 2010, we used it. And what we did, because we have always known about, there's always a problem between September and December every year in Augustown. What we did in 2010, we started the competition on the 1st of September 2010. It ran for a year and end on the 31st of August 2011. 2011, right, we had the lowest murder rates as a result of that competition. We only had 4 murders that year, right? And a lack of support for the competition, you know, but I continue to do it, and Hermitage won the first 3 to 4 years. And they were the safest community in Augustown across the 5 communities. And I must say that I tried at length, without any success, to get the police to buy into the fact that when people are behaving, you must reward them. So we were always pushing to have Hermitage have, you know, be given some sort of alacrity to have entertainment events, but that vision was not shared by the police, and I think we lost, we lose an opportunity there, some opportunities there, because what it would have done, would have forced other communities to fall in line to behave. So, you know, right. So it's like a carrot and the stick, right? If you behave, we reward you, but if you don't behave, then you get the stick.
Right.
So this year we're doing that again. So what we're doing this year is that we're moving it now to a calendar year level. So it's going to run from January 1st to January 30th to December 31st, 2021. So January 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2021. Yeah. So there's a number of criteria. So a community can move. So you have 5 stars. You can be a 1-star community, a 2-star, a 3-star, a 4-star, or a 5-star.
Gotcha.
Now, if we become a 5-star community, what that means is that there will absolutely no gun violence whatsoever in Augustown. Nothing like that, right? So we are moving. So tonight we we have been promoting that since about 4 months now, but by now we should have completed all the corners, all the community, but the rain this year was latter part of the year was very bad. Sometimes we had 3 weeks we can have 1 meeting because of it, because there was rain every single day, you know. Right. And so tonight we were in Goldsmith Villa, and next week Tuesday we're going to be in Hermitage, promoting the thing. So what we do also now, we develop now, alongside the CF community competition, we have the CF corners competition, because what we realize is that if the corners is not a part of it, then we have a problem, because all our problems come to the corners. Right? All the problems come to the corners. So they will compete. Some of the criteria that in relation to the CF community competition, some of the criteria, each community must have an active citizen association. You must have an active youth club. You must have an active parenting committee. You must have an active, right now, Augustown is about to have its restorative justice center. It will be at Bryce Hill. So you must now have an active restorative justice committee, where each community will have an X amount of persons trained in the practice and principles and philosophies of restorative justice. And in addition to that, each community will have a number of persons trained to be facilitators, right? So what that will do, it will now give the community an opportunity to be able to manage conflicts, because whenever something goes wrong, we need the youth should realize that when something goes wrong, you know, sir, I want to call Tom Jones or call Tom Brown, you know, because them man they deal, them man they can use the restorative justice and resolve this more than you want to you want to move them away from something going wrong. I man run off your gun, run off your knife or something like that, right? You want to move them away from that. So what we do, we build we modify the criteria to suit the present realities in relation to one, we want to strengthen the governance of the community, right? We want to move away from this one man, done man thing kind of communities. They're not healthy. So we want more people to be involved, sorry, in the running of the community through your citizens association, through your youth club, through your parenting committee, through your through the restorative justice program, through your environmental club. So all these things will be built into the criteria that you as a community must fulfill these criteria. So when it comes December 31st, 2021, and so the first weekend in January, we will have the award presentation to all of the various communities and corners and individuals who have done great for the community, right? And then now, so what these two things? So we're looking at the healing of the community, because try as we may, if we don't heal our community, we are going to keep coming back to this place over and over and over again. And that is why in this present situation in Auguston with the zones of special operation, I am one of two persons who sits on that committee, which is chaired by the Prime Minister from Auguston, from the community, all right? And I am saying to them that what needs to happen at the last meeting, that the zones of special operation need to be in Auguston, cannot be removed under 15 years, right? And I tell you why. One is that what we have learned about conflict in social interventions in high crime areas, high violent areas, is that social intervention in a place like Auguston, they have so much outbreak of violence so rapidly and so often, so frequent, cannot work without a parallel security apparatus running alongside. So if the social interventions gonna last 20 years, right? The security apparatus will have to last the same 20 years or more, okay? So my thing to the authorities is that the Auguston, the zone cannot be removed under 15 years, right? Because one is that every human being tend to change their outlook on life every 5 years, right? Auguston, we need about 3 cycles of that. Because what you want to do now is that, just imagine.
But I think I'm not cutting it. I think for you to have such a program, there has to be ways and means to maintain that kind of levity, as we would say in Jamaica. And in so speaking, you would want to think if you lend your service to adjacent communities like Flats, Tavern, Kintyre, so things doesn't spill over because, it's like a magnet when the violence starts, So do you lend your service or liaison with persons from these communities?
But let me just finish this because it's segmenting into do, because you have to also pay attention to the communities around you, because they can easily corrupt your community, so to speak. So therefore, what we're saying is that just imagine 15 years from now, most of all the folks who are now engaging in the wrong things in the community, right? In the wrong ways, in the violence, they're going to be 15 years older. And at that time, they're going to, if they don't change their life or they don't get into a problem, they're not going to be doing what they're doing now, okay? Alongside that, right, what you want to see happening now is that you want to see now the 5-year-old who will turn 20
15, 20.
and 15,
Around that.
20,
Yeah.
they will not grow up in a community where they do not see man pan corner with gun, man a fight man, man a shoot man, man a kill man, right? They will not be able, you will not be able to capture their imagination with other activities. We know through the CDC and the police, get back the Auguston Police Club up and running. And executive were appointed, they select there at the election. So every Saturday, kids are going to the Auguston Police Auguston Primary School to have club meetings. They want a program like that. The Auguston Football Club, well, we can't do it now because of COVID right now. But all of the various organizations, church group, every organization now plug into the youths, right? Saturday here, the Sizzler Youth Foundation kicks off the Sizzler Youth Foundation Robotics Club, where we have a number of youngsters was there learning, they been exposed to the drone technology that will help them to build drones, build robots, all of these things over a period of time. So it was intriguing. So that is going to be a major program that is going to be built up because you want to capture the youths and capture their imagination in a positive way, right? So they will not grow up and see all this violence around them. So I tell everybody that I'm a man in a hurry because we want to make use of this window. We want to use it to the fullest benefit to the entire community. So that is why I was saying that this competition now, right, the safe community and the safe kind of competition, we're gonna have to now promote. No, the winner of this competition, the safe community competition, will get the Barry Evans trophy, right? They have always. So we named the competition after late Barry Evans because Barry Evans is my mentor. I cried when he died. Trust me, right?
Yeah,
And
we are.
it continued to play. So every time and every opportunity I get to ensure that we may remember him, I do so, right? And so at the end of the day, what you want to do, what you want to achieve in the community, you want to heal the community, and that is where the restorative justice have healing properties in terms of how it is structured and how it is found, because they when people are in conflict, they themselves resolve it through a series of conversation. So what we're going to develop is a community-wide conversation about how we heal the community, because people have been hurt, people are hurting, people are in pain, right? The second thing you want to do, not to tackle, and all of them have to run simultaneously. You can't do this and wait. No, it doesn't work that way. So you have to know you have to work on the governance of the community. As I said earlier, you want to get more and more citizens across the community to take responsibility for the affairs of the community. And you get them to do that by joining their police youth club, joining their citizens association, the Hermitage Youth Club, their Auguston Youth Club, the Goldsmith Villa Youth Club, or citizens, so whatever it is, the parenting. So you give them options, right? The good thing to do now, the good thing we're doing now is that we're tying all of these things in a competition format through the safe community competition, where your community cannot win unless you satisfy these criteria, right? And we are now be able now to identify and work with all of the various programs that will now be coming to the community under the zones of special operations, right? And so these are some of the key components. Now, and on January 8 to 10, 3 evenings, right? We start on a Friday at Bradley Square, where we are going to be presenting to the community a little overview of what transpired last year. And then we outline all of the activities. So we're inviting all the organization, all the community to come and just outline their activities, what they will be doing for 2021. Because what you want to do something different this year. You want to put in people's mind, help them to create a mental model of August number 2021, this is going to happen again. Hermitage got to do that, Gola got to do this, August got to do that, Bedded guys got to do that, you know. And so people can look forward to, right, these things that are coming, and therefore they themselves will also look to preserving, try their best to say, boy, you know, so we really want this to happen, so we could try, right? We could try again and make it work. So we are saying to citizens as we go out and we meet at the meetings, we are saying to them, let's try again. You say to them, I know you're fed up, you know you're tired, you know you're frustrated, right? And they explain to them the Zozo and its importance of running parallel with the social intervention. Can give security. So I say, let's try again. And the feedback so far is good. Last week Wednesday night we have a bowler man and we have a jungle man over river speaking on the mic, bringing greetings. The boy wants to change. By the time we leave the following day, I got feedback that boy, the man them love it. And we talk about the CF coming to competition, and every man has a boy, them have to win that next year, River have to win that next year. So already it begins to stimulate the company, the right kind of competition that we want, right, in their headspace. So what we want to do now, we want to ensure that we can generate the incentives. So when I come in to win, we can generate incentives from all over our diaspora to help government, private sector, everybody pitching. So when I come into him, you can know, say, him can see, him can Hermitage win, Hermitage can get yeah, you know, whatever benefits.
Hermitage won. Hermitage won. Hermitage won. Hermitage won.
If I may, can I, Mr. Simpson, can I?
Mr. Sims,
Yeah,
Mr.
yeah,
Sims.
go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Sim. There's a saying said, two great minds think alike. Whatever you're saying, it's a reflection of what Hermitage have in place. And I must proudly put your mind at ease that help is on the way. Just like to backtrack to let you know that we have former Citizen Association, and as a scout leader, Sean and Simo, these are two of my scouts. These are two of my founding scouts from the Hermitage Scout Troop. So you can imagine how excited I am. Simo, Rowan is the PR for the diaspora. We create the Hermitage diaspora, where we have people from all over in the United States, Canada, and England. So we have a committee in place, and Simo is now representing the diaspora. So what you're saying, Simo is not on the ground in Hermitage. He's in Connecticut presently as representative of the diaspora. Sean is the PR person for the Hermitage Citizen Association, and is also the representative of the entire Hermitage community. Myself is on the global, not Hermitage, the global, the whole universe diaspora. And very great news for you. Your CDC had reached out to me with your dream. And I, after being hospitalized for over a year, my mission as a vessel to do the work, same likewise, to read August out. Yeah. And I'm very proud and honored to let you know that we have came to a decision with a scout troop. We were asked to have 2 scout troops, one in Augustown and one in Hermitage. And because of the work that you are doing, all these communities said we're going to have one scout group, the United Scout Troop. And I've made with 2 persons from Goldsmith Villa. Want to get the 5 those communities that you're talking about, the leaders. So we're gonna get 2 from. We have 2 from Goldsmith Villa already. We have somebody from over the river. We have 4 from Augustown. The New Testament Church, they said that they will allow us to use it. The Augustown School, and it's gonna be run by the CDC. It's gonna be run through your organization. I've also identified several people here, which were scout abroad, to support your group. The diaspora for the scout. These are all scout from both Augustown, former Augustown scout leader, Mr. David Walters, Donald Williams, Pele. These are all members, and we have these things ready in place. Greater news for you, Mr. Wilson. As a part, I just came off a radio station from Florida. Sean, we're going to be launching our official launching with Sean. And we have a connection in England that they're going to adopt Hermitage for the model that we are doing, where we create our association. And all those things, I personally going to donate the ambassador trophy for your award. I'm going to get sponsorship, trying to link up with the British High Commissioner. So all those things that you plan, we'll come to the incentive and awards. We're going to be let the people know that it's not just an August Town thing just getting off the ground. We here in the global diaspora, I'm trying to do a project where we export reggae. This is my dream. There's so many talented person in Augustown with singer.
Yep.
Yeah, so right now, to Shooter 99, you have a connection where from December, where reggae music has been playing, that the Hermitage artists, young artists, they're playing on the radio for half an hour. Thursday, can you imagine a youngster, his music is playing every Thursday on the international market, and I get to identify a separate group. And greater yet, 2021, 2022, the British and the South African diaspora, they are trying to merge to do a three-way recognition to recognize Bedward, Alexander Bedward, Sam Sharp, and Marcus Garvey. So what you're doing, if these things are in place, and we are in touch, because most of my meeting, the tourists, the ambassador, the counselor for Jamaica, the US ambassador, the Cayman, these are the people who sit on the committee that I'm talking about, the tourism minister. So we had started, myself and Michael Rutherford and yourself, our dream is to have Augustown to become the community tourism. So that is our aim, to get it back on stream. So I can tell you from the international part, I'm doing my part. So, and sometimes people said, Kennett mix up with some all type of man, and they don't know the work that we have to do. We have to go in the valley, we have to go in the dirt. So when a man see I talk to a man, that don't say you support what he's doing.
Exactly.
This is the crucifixion that you get, but because in there, you can't, a lot of change is not just going around walking and having candlelight on the corner. You have to go deeper than that. And our mission is, we tell the man themselves, listen me, when I was there working alongside you with Mr. Rutherford, I tell the police, if you want to shoot a man, just tell me, say, must move on the side, because you're doing your job. We don't do the police job. When people say we don't, when we talk about peacemaker, we want the world to understand we do not support wrongdoing, but our mission is to transform these young men. Because Kenneth can tell you, we have seen men who go to crusade and hand over their gun and baptize and know a good citizen, he's a part of the congregation. He has changed rapidly. So when out there with men, we are not supporting their wrongdoing. We have never supported, but we reach out to them. These are the people just want somebody to listen to them and transform them into that forum. So I want to tell you, rest assured, I'm working double time harder than what you're doing here to empower Augustown in all possible, despite of what I've been through. Whatever resources you guys need, very good. I am here working with you closely.
Very good.
I just want to piggyback on, what Mr. Roden said. Mr. Roden, my respect for you and Mr. Wilson, my respect for
Paramount
is I honestly, and not because you're on Zoom, I always admire from a young man in the community, and even now hear about the wonderful job that you're still doing, man. I'm telling you, we need another person like you and Mr. Roden, but we know it's not going to be feasible. But I've just got to tell you, man, while we here, we need to give that respect, continue to do the wonderful job. And that's what Mr. Roden said. We see the light at the tunnel. We just need to get other people on board to also see the light. Both Hermitage, Auguston, the surrounding community is a great place. I maybe migrate here, but I'm telling you, my heart and soul always in Kingston 7. you know. So
Fully
again,
understand.
thank you again. Thank you. And do not give up. You know, just keep fighting. And I know for 2021, for all those stuff that, you know, we are talking about, I know it's going to happen. And we just need to
Definitely.
tell
Yeah.
the citizens and the younger generation in the community, listen, if you listen to the elders and do what the elders do, the community can become what it always was and always will. Augustone to the world.
Straight. Well
Mis-
said. Well said.
Mr. Wilson, yeah,
Yes, sir.
do you think to maintain the goal, this beautiful dream and goal that you're speaking about, do you think parents should I don't want to say charge, but should be, should have more responsibility and be seen by the state to, pick up more of the duty of parenting, especially to these young men.
I have no qualms about that. I think that too many parents are just too loose in terms of bringing up their children, and I think that parent. That is why I know we are paying so much emphasis on parenting, because that is where it all starts, right? Mothers, we have been saying to mothers now that mothers is in fact, research have shown that mothers is in fact the ones who make or break their sons. The mothers are who make their sons into a monster or make him into an angel. The mothers,
True,
nobody else.
true,
Because it is the mothers. One of the worst thing you can do to any male is to hurt his mother,
true,
right?
true.
They'll rip you, right? So therefore, the mother have that impact on them. And we are all telling the mothers, do not be cruel to your male child. Don't be cruel to him, because he will internalize that and he will grow up with it, and it will manifest on the outside, because
Yes.
everything that I see happen on the in and on the outside first started to happen on the inside. It's just this night I was talking to this group at the meeting at Goldsmith Villa, and I was saying that a human being who's at peace within, that inner thing, that inner peace, will never hurt another human being on the outside. Never. It is the human being who is at war within hurt people, right? So we need to find a way, and so that is why presently, if it weren't for the COVID, we would have having a series of presentation in relation to the healing component of the community. We have already we have already spoke to a number of persons who are willing to come into the community, who have the expertise to help. But COVID really set us back a lot.
Yes, COVID
So
really.
in relation now to, yeah, in relation now to sports, because coming January we are going to be letting Jamaica know of a program that we had about 8 years ago. We started it with a number of youngsters in the Austin Football Club. They were
We
13
have
and under,
we have
right?
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yes.
I thought that's him have all night, man. Eh? I thought I have all night. So
That was the
the gist of
intro.
that story is that the gist of that was that we work with these kids for over 8 years. The under 13, under 14, under 15. But on Saturdays, they have to be in our mentorship program. They go on campus, they Irving Hall, Taylor Hall, books, they get them books to the student, they help them with them schoolwork, right? And get them in various little program, little mentorship, motivational speakers, all those things. And throughout the many wars, we never lost one of those kids to violence, to any gang. They were
Nice.
bigger than the gang, they're right above the gang, because they have a focus, right? So piggyback on that and those success, come 2021, we are now presently working and developing the Augustine Football Academy and Netball Academy, right? So,
Wow.
and that is where the diaspora is going to play a critical role, because what it means is that the management of that will pull from the 5 communities, right? We'll ensure that we have people that represent Hermitage, represent Westmead Villa, represent African Gardens, represent Bedded Garden, represent Augustine. So there's a vested interest in all, right? And then now the Kingston and St. Anthony Football Association having a program that they're working with some companies overseas to build out a very fantastic program. So we soon we'll let you hear about that. And it's in a way in which you can stay wherever you are and support the club, right? And that is going to happen simultaneously with netball also. We are also in contact with a number of persons from England who is presently working and assisting the club with gears and all these things. So some fantastic things happening. But most importantly, I also want to tell you about a program that we're having where the kids in the community, we have presently about 38, 39 kids who have lost parents to violence, right? So we have a program called, an organization recently formed called the Augustine Children Development Program, where we get support for the kids who have lost their parents to violence right here in Augustine. And so this Christmas, we're going to be having some gifts for them. And we're going to give them some gifts and all these things. So it's a lot of work simultaneously over many different fronts being done. Yeah. So, but because I don't have all night, I can't tell you.
All right. Simon.
Mr. Wilson, thank you, man. And that's what I said. You know, I always admire the wonderful job you're doing. And that's all I got to say. I know we're going to link up sometime next year. As soon as, the COVID done, come out and enjoy some of the sunshine out there.
Yeah, definitely. And I want to say thanks to all of you who you are in your nice, posh lifestyle overseas, but you still remember your roots. And it is important to always. One of the things that plague our people is that we don't look back. We don't remember where we're coming from. But that is important for us to begin to do. If every single citizen that have migrated from our community give back to their community, it can go far, far away. Far, far away. So I give thanks for the opportunity to speak and to share and to let you know what is happening here and to let you know that better days are coming for Augustine.
Before Mr. Grant does closing remarks, I thank you for having me on the program. Thank you to have me sit by this honorable Mr. Wilson. And he's a very hard man to get, so we just want to use this opportunity. We also a yearly program draft for Hermitage, and as we said, February 5th, if you can put on your calendar, 5th, 6th, and 7th, we're gonna be joining with England, and we're gonna have an opening ceremony, and we're gonna need an opening remark. We're gonna ask you for a message, so you can start creating a Zoom message and give it to Sean, maybe a 3-4 minutes message with what you have just do. You want to compile it in 4 minutes. The CDC president also, we're going to need a message from him. And we're going to need from the youth, get as much people. We're going to use that first Friday to just bring greetings and message so the world can know what is, it's reggae month. Well, so we're going to talk about you have seen Bob Marley, you have seen all these men play on the campus. So we're gonna be and our reggae ambassadors then with so that first day we're gonna be greeting from all the leaders within the community. So I would like you to get the privilege, and if you get time out, to start preparing your opening remarks. You have seen many great reggae artists who have played through sports, and where reggae is concerned, Augustine. And as I said, it's going to be launched Student 99, Kingston 100 will be officially launching its program. So we're gonna need we're gonna need people. That's one of the theme we started drafting on for Reggae Month. So February, they're asking me for clippings, so I'm doing the program now, but I just want to give you a heads up. We just need a 3-minute message from you and the president of the CDC in our program. And thanks again for having me on the program, sirs.
You're welcome, Mr. Rodney. It's going to really be February, as Mr. Rodney is saying. It's going to be a really big thing in our communities. You know, we will be having that launch of Kingston 100% Radio, and we'll be having that launch to the UK, and we'll be actually showcasing the artists in Hermitage and Alverstone, you know, via the Kingston 7 beats, you know. So it's going to be a big thing for us, you know, and so we should embrace it. And so, Mr. Wilson, you need to start preparing that thing that Mr. Rodney is speaking about, you know. Mr. Wilson, for the past couple of years, the world is hearing about Sizzler Youth Foundation, and we must say the world is really, you know, is happy about such an initiative, you know, and especially the name of it. It's a Sizzler Youth Foundation, you know. The fact that it is from in our neck of the wood, you know, it gives us a plus that we have something going on. Can you tell us a little bit more about Sizzler Youth Foundation, please?
Well, the Sizzler Youth Foundation, it was founded in 2016, if my memory serves me correctly. Well, I joined in 2015 when we staged the Augustine birthday Emancipation birthday celebration. And that was when I knew about the foundation, right? And been in it ever since. Been appointed the program director for the foundation. So in relation to programs and activities, I'm the man who organize and plan these things, along with other members of the executives, right? The president himself, Miguel Collins. So the Augustine 1 editor that is coming up now is something that we are going to be outlining to the community. Also, the second weekend in January, so January 8, 9, and 10, 12 those evening will be at Brazil Square, where we sharing with the community the things that will be happening for August 2021. And then on the 10th, which is a Sunday, we will be journeying into African Gardens, where we are going to be presenting African Gardens with the Barry Evans Award for being the CFS of the 5. These are the 5 communities, right? Mm-hmm. And so, you know, these are some of the things that the foundation is doing. And I spoke earlier about the Sizzler Youth Foundation Robotics Club that is being rolled out now, where kids are will be learning robotics, right? Drone technology, and they'll be able to do marvelous things, you know. So we can have our own Silicon Valley right here in Augustown, you know, in our own way, you know, because one thing that we want to do most importantly, we want to use the creative imagination of our youth in a positive way, because they're very creative, you know. But you don't want that creativity to be used in a negative way, because when it's used in that negative way, it causes us more pain. But when it's used in a positive way, more can be done, you know. So this Sizzler Youth Foundation continue to build out the community, and we will always be working in association with other communities across other CBOs across the community. The CDC, we remember the CDC. So it's doing some good work.
Life changing.
Yes.
It's changing lives.
Life changing work.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. It's beautiful. Thank you very much about on that.
You're welcome, man.
The Sizzler Youth Foundation. Is there any other foundations in Augustown?
Well, I'm a part of one, but the name is going to be changed. Right from the beginning, you know that it was the Augustown Sports and Community Development Foundation. So we're going to change the name to the January 1st. The name is changing to the Augustown Sports and Community Development Program. So it changed from foundation to a program, because we have doing a number of activities. Because I am with this Sizzler Youth Foundation now. So it's going to be look at way of having 2 ISO and both. So one, there'll be a name change to facilitate what we really do with that organization. We develop programs. So I am basically like seconded to the foundation, but a lot of the programs also come from the program.
Let me ask you though.
Very good.
Yes, it's very good. Sizzler Youth Foundation is actually a color red on the color red corner. Are you seeing are you seeing any other competition, such as the competition we used to have at the university in the near future with the Augustine community and the adjacent communities like Flagstaff and even some of the halls in the university?
Well, there. All right. I'm glad you mentioned that. The integration games. After Barry Evans died, I did organize an integration games where we had. But we started the first one. We had it with football though. So we had teams from Augustown competing with teams, all teams on campus in football competition, and that went well. Mrs. Chevans came with her family and they presented the trophies to the winning team. That inaugural year, the competition was won by Maylin, a team from Augustown named Maylin. So ever since I wanted to do it, but each time we seek ability to violence erupt. But as soon as that is done, so this time around, what we want to do now, we want to incorporate UTech. So we have Augustine, we have UE and UTech, and we can also have some teams from the Jason's community because those are very important, and that is those community now because of the Augustine Restorative Justice Center. That center will be in relation to the Restorative Justice Program, will be in charge of a wide geographical area from Augustine all the way up to Garden Town, that come all the way around to Ligani and come back up,
Takes me where
So,
I want to, right? That is one of the things I want to get to, though. You know, I asked before, but you was busy trying to explain something else. Do you liaison with persons from these other communities to kind of spread the service that you grant to Augustine to these other communities via other persons, right? Do you liaison or lend your services to these other communities to have a comprehensive fix of the problems that we're having here in our community? And I want to double up on that question too. In other, go ahead with that. Go ahead with that, and I will ask.
well, the truth is, country and deed, I have always been pursued, but just not been able to sort of what you call it now, branch out in that, so to speak. The focus and the concentration I have in Augustine, but it's something that we're going to be building out in the new year, making contact with the various organizations in the tavern and the country and those communities, because it's one uptown,
Mm-hmm.
I want to have a one uptown culture. Want to
if I
eliminate violence totally.
If I may, just like to add to Mr. Wilson that with the Scout, I reached out to the Kentire community. So I spoke with some here. So
Very good.
and what we plan to do with the Scout is we won't have a one base. Like we'd keep the Scout meeting this week in Augustown School. We could go by Villa. Then we're gonna go over a river. So anybody join the movement, we're just gonna use as a sample. The chief commissioner is on the committee, from the National Scout Headquarters. So they have to be moving around and we're gonna be interacting with the different communities. So always gonna be not gonna be at one space, and then we're gonna be going to Kentire also to try to interact. Spend a day at the Kentire Scout Camp because that's a historical Scout camp. So
yes, I used to go there as a Scout.
Yes, that's
what I was a Scout, Dean. I was a Scout. I used to go Kentire.
But you know that there's nothing as was. Once a Scout, always a Scout. Yeah, man. That's why, because what I did in Jamaica, believe it or not, because of my scouting in Jamaica, I could come here in the United States. Because once a Scout, it doesn't matter what part of the world you are, you automatically just fall in. I do not have to reinvest or make a commitment to be a new Scout. In Jamaica, I just continue brotherhood movement. Very importantly, I just continue my work as a Scout. So that's one of the way we're going to be reaching out just to answer Mr. Grant's question, to the neighboring community with some, so this is a part of the CDC program also to reach out to all these neighboring
all these neighboring community. I've seen, I'm thinking about it, and I have seen where in other countries, you know, it may not be third world like us, but in other countries, we're seeing where there are feasible ways for persons to fix their problems, iron out little domestic affair disputes that one person might have in their community, and so on and so forth. I had this thought that if we could have magistrates in our community, would that be a feasible thing to have a that kind of thing in our community for persons who have in domestic disputes or disputes on corners and so on can find salvation in their community in a quick and precise way instead of to take it to the big course and you know, incriminating yourself in some way. Is that within your perimeter of crime fighting and building community? Or do you
Well,
see that as something that you could tap into?
that is exactly what the Restorative Justice Center, which is now coming to Brazil, will do. Right? We'll be able to have people, disputing parties, come to the center and have their matters resolved in a very people-centered way, because what restorative justice is, it actually produces a conversation between both parties, which allow them to open up to each other. Because part of the problem we face now when people having conflict is that we're not listening to each other. But when you bring the matter to restorative justice, what it does, it allows me to listen to you and allow you to listen to me through a conversation that is in a controlled space where many countries, well, I have been to a number of RJ conferences overseas where different cultures use different methods, and there's other talking piece. So if this buckle is a talking piece, only the person holding this talking piece is allowed to speak, is authorized to speak. The rest of persons in the circle, and it is a circle process where the circle symbolizes equality, right, and oneness. So when I have this talking piece, I'm the only person who is authorized to speak. So everybody honor me by listening to me. So at the conference now, sorry, both the victim and the offender and the community get the opportunity now to listen to each other, which is missing outside there in a conflicting in a conflicting process, right? There's no list, people attack, but nobody now listen to each other. So in that conversation, right, by listening and sharing, one of the great things happening is that understanding develop. I understand what you were going through when you're looking in my head. So I say the frustration and all that were built up, and also it also give sorry, it also give you a chance to find out if my action lead to you doing what you did, right? Or did I facilitate that? So there's a number of things to restore it, but most importantly, it is the people. The solution comes from the people. So the victim and the offender and their support persons are the persons who develop, who guide, be the facilitators, those guide the process. So I have a.
So is it a case that we'll be having a magistrate in that can do this, or it's
Well,
just it's
no,
just
no. One of what I also want to tell you is that restorative justice does deal with, it doesn't deal with crimes like gun-related, sexual, major things. Is mainly thing at the domestic levels, right? Which most of these domestic levels lead to major problems, right? So the police stats will show that a lot of major outbreak of conflict and wars in communities start through like a domestic thing, right?
Yeah.
So that is why the police, when people criticize the police about paying attention to little foolishness, but it's these little foolishness that turn into big forest fires and burn the whole place, right? So that is why the police pay so much attention to domestic disputes, because they are very,
Yes.
very dangerous.
Yes.
But the center will provide a great opportunity for the community to resolve its problems, because when psychologically, is that when you know that is a place you can go and sit down and get your issues being resolved in a peaceful way, you tend to want to use it, and it gives you that assurance that and the whole process is strictly confidential and very professional.
Yes, thank you very much for that. In our community here, we have seen where there are some deficiencies with the way how the police might react to a call, or there are some deficiencies. Are you seeing in the future of the community, whether near or far, Mr. Wilson, that we could have other police posts in the communities or other police stations? Are you seeing anything like that?
No, that's, I'm not seeing that.
Okay. So you're after the thought that this one police station in the area that it is in, geographically, should be able to police
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
these areas in the community.
Yeah, I think what we were clamoring for some time was for the station to be upgraded to an operational station. It will have more personnel and stuff like that, having resident detectives.
But do you think though that if you have a post in Goldsmith Villa and a post in the river area, do you think that would be better policing?
Well, one other thing about these things are the feasibility of them. And I am not sure that the authorities would go that route in terms of having
No. I don't want you to go there. I don't want you to go there. You're not the authorities. I am not. We are looking about our community, communities.
The presence.
And I'm asking this. Hold a minute.
Yeah.
In apply to have better policing in our communities, do you think it would be better to have more police forces in the communities?
Well, let me answer it this way. First of all, for the police citizens relationship to improve, right? They're gonna have to be changes on both sides of the fence. You remember in 2010, 2011, when we had the first safe community competition, what happened? Inspector Steele was the inspector at the station, and we worked at a situation where each community had a police officer who they report to. You remember those days? There was an officer that Hermitage was assigned to Hermitage, and another officer assigned to Goldsmith Villa. And because of the size of Augustown, two was assigned to Augustown, one assigned to Bedford Gardens and one assigned to African Gardens, right? So that police officer would always be the first one to have an heads up as to what's happening in the community, right?
Okay.
So it is that is a kind of, because Mr. Moderator, the problem will not be solved without an improvement in the relationship between the police and the citizens.
But isn't it a fact that if you have more posts, places more quicker access? In fact, okay.
Yes.
If
yes.
I am having a dispute here, and I know I can walk 2 steps around the road and have my dispute settled, wouldn't that be a better thing than to take it to even the Augustine police station where I might have to walk
pass some borderlines and all that.
you know, stuff like that, because
yeah. Yeah, man, I understand what you're saying, you know. Because that would be the ideal situation, having police at their fingertips, you know.
Yes. And then when the police scatter geographically in a certain way, it would kind of be like the Zozo that we're having now. You know what I mean? And we'll be having that problem. So wouldn't that be a good thing to have more posts in our community?
No, it would always be a good thing to have more police, because what I want is the visibility.
Right.
Because if a police post in Hermitage or one in Goldsmith or in African Gardens, it means that more the police would have a higher visibility rate, and that is what help also to curb crime, the visibility of the police.
Thank you. Okay, so there we have it. I would like to though ask Mr. Wilson, because I know that by the second he generates ideas and things to say. If you have a final thing that you want to say, that would be nice for us to close off with. And Mr. Roden, you as well after Mr. Wilson, please.
Well, I just want to say first of all, to the citizens of Augustine, let's try again. Let's try one more time. And to the persons living in the diaspora, don't give up on Augustine. Augustine is going to turn around. We're going to turn it around. All right? It's going to happen.
Thank you, Mr. Roden.
And I like to endorse it. People said, boy, Dean, you still a work for Hermitage, despite I've never turned away from saying I'm from Hermitage. 100%, no sugar, no cream. I go to Augustine Basic School. So me as a man will walk through Double Lane. When I talk primary school, I'm going to Sister Ebert. So me come like a puppy. So me go. So I leave from Hermitage to walk through Double Lane to Augustine. And then I graduate from basic school and go to Augustine Primary School. You're talking about, when my people talk about me as a Hermitage man, but I'm going to say Hermitage. Our mission, sometimes people say, boy, we're going to be better than people. And we're very proud to say that. We want to be better than Beverly Hills. So I don't want Augustine people to feel like, so, well, Augustine, our family, our brother, but our mission is to lift Augustine, Hermitage, better. And if Hermitage have to lead that way, when we talk certain things, it's not a matter of say we're trying to segregate ourselves, but we want to have that image of the, when you look at the mountain range, the same Beverly Hills Hill is the same thing that started Hermitage. That upper Goldsmith Villa is the same mountain range that joined the Beverly Hills. So we want people. So when we talk about, I want to be a part of the Mona Heights, we are not segregating ourselves from Augustine, but we are trying to lift up the place so people can see us as a Beverly Hills, a place that is, because we have everything like what they have. So, but Augustine is a family, as I said, we grow in Augustine, we're going out my backyard over Angola. And I want to endorse what you're saying, and whatever I can do, I want to assure the people of Augustine that Mr. Wilson is doing his utmost best. We might not agree with him at 100%, but whatever he do, let us just have some patience to see what he's intending to finish up. And it's all in good faith. He doesn't live at the front part of Augustine, where Mr. Wilson live way down. So he can't do anything for same can't go home, because Augustine is a one-way in. So he has to live good with everybody. He don't live at the top part of Augustine, but I forgot all the way. So that's what I respect him for. Yeah, nobody can say you can't, because if he wasn't doing something good, let me tell you, some Augustine people is very straight up. They would say, listen, Mr. Wilson, you now pass this your house. So he must be doing something good. You can pass through all these different zones to go to his house. Just quickly like to add, most people who have never been abroad. Mr. Wilson also, between him and Mr. Rutherford and several other people, Mr. Tolo, Chile, they have challenged to allow a lot of people to get a chance to travel. A lot of people get an opportunity to go to the United States to the same program. As we say, it's going to take a year for Mr. Wilson to explain all the wonderful things that we have achieved. As Mr. Toller to the football, Michael Rutherford and himself, they have done several, you have been involved in so many different projects. When they can look at a simple man on the corner, can tell you, say, you get a chance to go to the United States, and he come, and it's all through Mr. Chevron, Mr. Wilson, Mr. Toller, Mr. Rutherford. So there are so many things that the community know. They don't know it. And that's why we are re-interjecting the great history. So it can give them hope that we have been through worse days and we are seeing better times, and there will be better times ahead of us. And I worship every morning. I have my little devotion, and Augustine is always in the midst of my prayer. And I don't know about anybody else, but I know I put Augustine before Zozo. Come, when I see Zozo, I can assure that my prayer was answered for the peace and stability. So whatever I do, the Almighty working with me, and whatever we do in Augustine, we have the most churches. We should have the most peaceful place. Augustine Road have the most, every church you can think of, it's on Augustine Road, from Mona Road go right in. So I strongly support you, and whatever I can do in my own way, I'm here, sir.
Thank you very much. We will always know and have Augustine as our big brother, and the names we'll be calling simultaneous Hermitage and Augustine. It has been for all of our lives, and it will never stop, 100%. Mr. Wilson, thank you for spending a little time with us, having a little chat.
You're welcome, man.
I know there's a lot more that you need to get off your chest, but when we have some time, we do it again, and thank you again, Mr. Roden. Mr. Sims?
Yeah, man. So again, thanks for Mr. Wilson. Mr. Roden, thank you. And Brother Sean,
yes,
happy birthday, man. Yeah. We cannot finish this Zoom without telling you happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
many more blessings.
Thank you.
And I hope you live to see many, many more, man.
Yeah,
and a drinks on me.
Cheers.
Thank you. Well, there we have it. That's a Uptown Link Up, where we link up with Mr. Kennett Wilson, and he got really in depth with messages from the community, and goal that he wishes to accomplish in the close future. And so there we have it. It's Uptown Link Up. Good night.
I like Uptown Link Up. Yes, sir. Hello?
Hello.
Is this Uptown Link Up?
Yes, it is.
Oh, best program ever.
Come back and be this passionate about this.
How do we, as Jamaicans, then know our history?
5 goat in killer weekend time. And them no eat she goat meat.
And remember the elderly that make this possible that everyone, because without the senior.
Who start to dig the post hole when light decides to come in. You never have no sidewalk and you have the bank inside.